Okay, let us talk about this new web series currently streaming on Elevation NG here on YouTube called The Wives. This review is going to be spoiler filled because it's right here on YouTube. You can always go check it out. So, yeah, in case you're just hearing my voice in my channel, welcome, welcome. I really do hope you stay. Please consider subscribing to the channel and like this video. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you going to be seeing this series right after this review? Are you currently watching the series? Let's chat in the comment section. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer that is yet to subscribe, welcome back to the channel. I love that you keep on coming back here to see what I'm up to on this space. Without wasting much of our time, let's get right into the review of the series The Wives. The Wives covers the intricacies of relationships, and we're able to see this through the eyes of three different couples. Two are married and one are still like courting, they're still dating and all of those stuff. So we had the first couple. They are Moni and Matthew. Moni was played by Anne Icha and Matthew was played by Tope Tedela. So Moni played by Anne Icha. She's this woman who has a very strong personality, and for some very weird reasons at the very beginning of the series, it felt like she was waiting for her husband to mess up. It felt like she's waiting for something bad to happen. It felt like she didn't feel secure in the marriage and she's waiting for her husband to just mess things up and do something wrong. It was weird. It was very somehow at the beginning that, she would always nag whenever her husband doesn't pick up her calls. She would always complain whenever he's out of her face, whenever he's not in her presence. I mean, she delegates responsibilities to him without even letting him know beforehand, although in her defense, she's always been trying to reach out to him to let him know of her plans, but because it never actually picks her calls, she just shoves it on his head like, you're gonna have to deal with this mess. I mean, I tried to reach out to you, but you weren't picking, right? So, we later got to understand why she was behaving that way and why it felt like she was insecure in the marriage because at the first stage of their marriage, in the first year of their marriage, her husband did cheat on her. And although it's been 9 years later, she hasn't properly healed from it, or she thinks she has, but she still feels like her husband is still going to mess up again and, make the same mistake, even though he has promised that he wouldn't. So we see her constantly nagging. Moni's character can be very inconsiderate sometimes. We see how she relates with her assistant Enito, character played by Tomi Ojo, and we see how she can be a lot. She can be too much at times. But I feel like with coming episode, we started to understand why she was like that, and slowly but surely we're starting to sort of warm up to her, even though she's not like a perfect person. I feel like she's a 50-50. She can be really mean and she can be yeah, let's just, sympathize with her because she's this woman who is actually going through it. And herself and her husband Matthew, they've been trying to have a child for like 9 years, going on 10 years. So at the stage where this series took off, they were currently going through IVF after so many failed, attempts, and it feels like this one is actually going to work and all of those things. So yeah, you know, Moni's character is very complex. She's not easy to warm up to. She's not easy to like. But I'm hoping that in coming episodes, we either get to totally love her or totally hate her. But we'll get to see how that goes. We have Matthew, character played by Tope Tedela, and is very absent. He has zero regard for his wife, in my own opinion, because he picks up everybody's calls aside from our own call. Sometimes give us the vibe of he's tired of the relationship or he feels sort of guilty to leave because he had cheated on her in, at the early stage of their marriage. And that seemed to be like the main reason why their marriage isn't really working out. It just seemed like he's tired of the relationship because why do you go out? Why do you go to work? And your wife is calling you, she's calling you and she's calling you and he's not picking. I feel like his attitude towards her generally is even worse than him cheating. In the fact that, they're also trying to have a child, they're going through like this IVF thing. He is not there to like emotionally give her the support that she needs. That's why I'm like, sometimes I kind of understand, or we kind of understand why Moni would react the way she would react whenever he doesn't pick his calls, whenever he's like out of the house and he's not tending to his calls or tending to her at all. So we have Patrick and Dima. Oh my goodness, this couple, especially Patrick. Patrick is the most stressful part of this series, yet the comedic relief in this series, honestly speaking. And I don't know which is worse. I don't know if it's his outfit or his attitude, but for every time this guy comes on my screen, I am just like, oh, not again, not again. But that's to say that Patrick, who played the character Harrison, he actually delivered his character to a fault, if I'm being honest, because his character is this young man or this middle-aged man who has zero respect for himself as well as his wife. This men that go about saying, oh, I want you people to respect you as my wife, I want people to regard you as my wife. But you understand that the undertone message is, I want people to respect me. I don't want you to go and embarrass me. I don't want you to give me a bad look outside. But in the actual sense, you're the one messing up around. You're the one, making a fool out of yourself, showing up at meetings that you're not invited to, overdressing for events that you weren't even invited to, going to people's offices and making a mockery and a shame of yourself. This man was a handful. The way he treats his wife, the way he talks to her, he belittles her business, he calls her business Zobo business. You don't respect yourself, people will not respect you. I want people to respect you, I want people to respect me. And he's always coming up with these crazy business ideas whenever he comes across Matthew, who he's always trying to pitch his ideas to. And for every time he tries to pitch his business ideas to Matthew, he irritates the hell out of Matthew, and Matthew just dismisses him without any regard or respect, because really this man doesn't even act like he deserves to be respected. But Patrick's character, or will I say Harrison's character, is so interesting, is so annoying, is so comedic. It's just everything that this series needs. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to become of his character. And because this is a faith based series, I'm definitely sure that we're going to get, I don't know. I'm really, really interested to seeing how things are going to pan out for Harrison and Dima in this series, considering the fact that it's a faith-based series. But I'll get to that very soon. We also had Dima. Her character was played by Sharon Rotimi. She's wife to Harrison Patrick's character, and she's this woman who doesn't get any regard for her husband as well. It belittles her, it talks down on her. And even at the beginning, I was wondering why a personality like hers got to be with, a personality like Harrison. And it reminds me of these women who were very bubbly, who were very lively before they got married, and all of a sudden they got married, and it feels like their actual sense of being got stolen from them. You feel like their personality got erased, and they are forced to become who they are not, forced to be silent, forced to be cautious, be careful, and all of those things. And later on in this series, we see that she becomes friends with Matthew, that's Moni's husband, because of these projects that they're supposed to be working on. And one thing leads to another, and we are seeing that both of their characters are having extramarital affair in this series. And because it's a faith-based series, that's why I'm very interested to seeing what's going to happen between Harrison and Dima. This me so much because Dima's character so far in this series, especially in episode 3, the way she's been acting, no remorse whatsoever towards the situation. Although Matthew feels bad, he feels sorry about what's been going on, and tries to run away from the temptation of Dima. But Dima seems to be yielding towards the temptation even more. She doesn't seem to care. I'm sure that her husband not only verbally abuses her, emotionally abuses her, he also physically, assaulted her as well. So I feel like now she has zeroed her mind from her relationship with her husband, or she's totally out of, the relationship with her husband, or out of her marriage. But I'm like, if you're going to move away from your marriage, why do you think it's okay or it's proper for you to now move on with somebody who is married? Like, it doesn't even seem like a character feels sorry for what she's doing right now. I don't know if it's because she's now exposed to a life that she's always wanted, a man that warms up to her, a man that cares for her, a man that cares for her, a man that, supports her, encourages her, give her this act of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, and all of those things. Maybe that's why it's not clicking in her head yet that you're a married Christian woman who is having extramarital affairs. Like, wake up. Two wrongs don't make it right. So I'm really looking forward to how things are going to pan out for our character, most especially because it's just wrong, regardless of the fact that, okay, your marriage is in shambles right now and you don't deserve what you're going through, but still, this whole thing with Matthew and this their own mistake is absolutely wrong. Also have Tomi Ojo's character in this series. She plays the character of Anne Icha, vibrant young lady who has this toxic boss. Her boss is money. Although I don't even know what to say concerning her, her back and forth with her boss. She's a lady that knows how to stand for herself when she feels like she needs to. But at the same time, I'm just like, this whole thing, this whole personal assistant thing, I don't know how it really, really works, but I know that it's time consuming. But I just feel like a boyfriend rightfully said, there are no boundaries in that workspace, and it's very, very disturbing. There are no boundaries. The boundaries are really, really blurred out. And I don't know, like when today Money is like, oh, I'm sorry, but I don't think Money truly understands that she's really not giving anyone the best work experience. That makes sense. And even though we see that, our boyfriend is controlling, that's Caleb, character played by Timileyin or Jola, is controlling. He feels like he wants to tell her what to do. He wants to dictate, or leave your job, don't go to work. That woman is controlling. And that nonsense he pulled at the dinner table, talking back at her boss, like that was so unprofessional. That was so uncalled for. That was so immature. Like if you knew you were going to do all of those things, you shouldn't have gone in the first place. Yes, I get that. Any it forced him to go for the dinner, but like you don't go there and act like an asshole. That was totally wrong and out of line. But he's still making a point still, in the sense that this woman is toxic for you. She doesn't understand that, you have boundaries, you have a personal life outside of working for her. That she's still working for Money. I'm also very curious as to how things are going to pan out between herself and Money in coming episodes. Is she eventually going to leave Money and never come back? Because Money doesn't seem to find anything wrong in how she's been behaving towards Anyton. And for someone who is actually a very huge support of yours, like your husband is absent and this person comes to your rescue every now and then, that's I'm like, I find it, I'm struggling to really, really connect or really like Moni's character, because as a wife, she's somehow, as a person, she's somehow, as a boss, she's overbearing. So I'm just like, whatever way I turn it, it's so unpleasant to me. But yeah, also let's talking about Caleb and Anyton's proposal, that public proposal. Really, oof, I feel like if you've been watching me for a while, you will know how I feel about public proposals. But yeah, that's by the way. Ugh, the fact that, I mean, I feel like Caleb's reaction to Anyton's um rejection of his proposal was very concerning to me. I get that, oh, he's an understanding boyfriend, blah blah blah. Okay, I get that we're not in the right space right now, which makes me wonder what these people talk about when they are dating. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, the way he was able to take it, and I'm not saying you should have been angry or pissed, but this is somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and this person has told you that I really don't want to do that now. He didn't seem to be very bothered or concerned. It just felt like the proposal was a thing of convenience for him. If she takes it, no, yes. If she doesn't take it, okay. I mean, whatever works for her works for me. I I don't know, like it was just very weird and very strange. But I really don't think those two should be together. Caleb, seem like even though Caleb behaves like he has our best interest at heart, I just feel like they're going about it the wrong way and they're not good for each other. One of the things I liked about this series, or I'm liking about this series so far, I am loving the set design, the locations, the houses they are using, the apartments, the sets, the look of the set, even the quality of the series, the visual quality is very pleasing to the eyes. I love the delivery so far. I like that, it's not very rigid, it's not very serious, and they are talking about like very intricate issues, very serious issues in very simple ways, if I can put it that way. They're talking about communication, they're talking about, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, they're talking about like cheating and forgiveness, when if you're trying to like look at Money and Matthew's situation, I feel like Money thinks she has gotten over what had happened 9 years ago. I don't think okay, let me rephrase it. Money probably didn't realize that it wasn't going to be easy to move on from the cheating situation. And look at it, 9 years down the line, it's still affecting their marriage. Which is why I'm like, most times you can forgive the person, but it's very important that you maybe walk away. Because I don't know how you're going to trust somebody who cheated 1 year into your marriage, like at that early stage, and 9 years down the line, you're still yet to get over it. You're still feeling insecure when he's not picking your call. You're like, oh, what if he's with somebody else? You're waiting for him to mess up. Like, that's not healthy. And if you intend to spend the next 40 years of your life, 35 years of your life, 50 years of your life with this person, you want to spend all those years being insecure and waiting for the worst thing on earth to happen, waiting for the person to mess up. I really don't think that's healthy. And I also like that it's a faith-based series and all of those good stuff. It's talking about boundaries, resentment, forgiveness, communication, abuse, growth, and all of those things. So I think it's a really good series that you should check out. So in case you're wondering if you should go check out the series, The Wives on Elevation NG, you should definitely check it out. If you're currently watching the series, let me know what your thoughts are. Hopefully in the coming week, I'm going to come back here to talk about episode 4 and 5 and probably have like a more relaxing review because I don't know, this review just feels very but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Please like this video if you're yet to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe. I'll love to see you in my next video. But until then, make sure to remain happy because you're with yourself. Bye guys.